Okay, this is the homework help section of the Writing Systems of Linear Equations lesson. So for homework help, I'm just going to go through some of these. Some of them I already went through in class, but in case you were absent, here you go. I need you to have today's class notes with you so that you can go back and forth and make sure you're using the class notes to get the homework done. Okay, so this is going to be off to the side and I'll pull it out as needed. For number 1, Monica purchased red bricks for $2 each and gray bricks for $3 each. Write a system of equations that could be used to find the number of each type of brick Monica purchased if she spent $160 on 60 bricks. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is notice that I've got 3 monies. So what kind of equation am I going to write with those? It's my first type. Money, money, money. If I can circle money 3 times in my word problem, most likely I'm going to be writing a money, money, money equation. So here we go. Let's make sure we have our variables. So we want X to be, let's see, the first type of brick they mentioned is a red brick. We're going to let Y equal gray bricks. And I know that I'm about to write a money, money, money equation. So let's do that first. Okay, so $2 for a red brick, and that's X, plus $3 for each gray brick, and that's Y, and my total money spent will be $160. Money, money, money. Now the nice thing about writing systems is that we do not recycle. So once I've used those numbers, they're gone. So the only other number I have to write my whole second equation with is the number 60. So let's read, what does 60 represent? She purchased these and these, write a system, blah, blah, blah. If she spent $160 on 60 bricks. So that will be my total number of bricks bought. So we're going to write a total number equation. And the number we're working with is 60. That is my total. So just like before, for a total number equation, we take our 2 variables that we assigned and we set it equal to the total. Easiest equation you'll ever write. So let's go ahead and do that. X plus Y equals 60. And now I have written a money, money, money and a total number equation. And if you're not familiar with those, please go back to the first video on how to write 5 types of equations. Okay, so that problem is done. That system has been set up. Remember, we're only setting up today. We are not solving. After you finish taking notes on problem 1, you will be all ready to take notes on to finish problem 2 and 3 because they are pretty much identical in setup. I just gave you 2 additional practice problems. You'll have money, 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 and total number problems to work here. Okay, let's move on to problem number 4, which is a different type of a problem. Problem 4. Let's read it to get a good idea of what we're working with. One number is 12 less than 3 times another number. Whew, that's a lot of math words. That is very, very mathy. Let's see which type of word problem requires me gobbling up a bunch of math words and spitting out an equation. Here we go. It's probably the translation type. Check this out. The sum of twice a number and 8 is equal to 3 less than 4. Another mouthful, okay? So we've got a translation type. That means we have to go up here and translate word for word what each math symbol means. And then we have to kind of rearrange the order as needed. So that's what we're about to do. First, we're going to write a translation type. Okay? So translation types, it's nice because one sentence generally equals 1 equation. So let's focus on the first sentence and the first equation, and let's select our variables. One number is 12 less than 3 times another number. So I've got one number, and then I've got this over here that says another number. Those are going to be my variables, and they're different. So I need to choose 2 different variables. It's going to be X and Y again. Okay, what does is mean? Is means equals. What does 12 less mean? It means negative 12 or minus 12. 12 less than what? 12 less than 3 times another number. So if we make this our y and we do 3 times another number, that other number can be x. Once again, we prefer to solve for y if we're going to solve for anything at all. So let x equal another number and let y equal one number, okay? So let's write our equation. Let's flip the order of this and we'll end up with y equals 3x minus 12. And that'll be all ready for us. Now remember, one sentence equals one equation with this translation type. So once we're done with it, we're done with it. The next sentence will be the next equation. Their sum, whose sum? Well, we were working with one number and the other number, their sum, okay? So x and y, basically. Their sum is 188. What does sum mean? Add them together. So we're going to add up x and y, and their sum is going to be 188. That system is now set up. Okay? Number 5 and number 6 will be similar. Translation types. Next set. I gave you 1 practice problem and 2 to try on your own. Okay? Now the next set, problem 7. Let's look at problem 7. We've got the length of a rectangular carpet is means equals, 8 feet more than twice the width. That sounds like translation again. A whole lot of math words that I have to put an equation to. So I know that is means equals. I know that 8 feet more means plus 8. Just like in the previous example, we had 12 less. What did 12 less mean? Minus 12. What does 8 more mean? Plus 8. Okay, so 8 feet more than twice the width. Twice is how many times? It's 2 times. And that's my length. Okay, so if I was going to make one of these my y and one of these my x, which would you prefer? Remember, if we're going to solve for anything at all, we prefer to solve for y. So this is already solved for L, so let's let length be our y. And let's let W be our width. I'm sorry, let's let X be our width. Okay? So just rearrange these and your equation will be written for you. Y equals 2x plus 8. First equation is written. Okay? Next, once we're done with the first line, we're done with it. The first sentence, we're done with it. Okay, the perimeter is 46 feet. The perimeter is 46 feet. So, what type is that? When I have a formula that's mentioned, remember we're working with a rectangular carpet? Perimeter, which type is that? That would probably be my formula type. And remember, for our class example, we already copied down the perimeter of a rectangle formula. So let's write that down. Remember, for L, for length, what am I using? Y. For width, what am I using? X. Doesn't really matter in this example, but we want to be as, you know, good habits, good habits. And our total perimeter is 46. Okay, we're just going to flip that around. Flip that around. And we have a system. Okay, so what 2 types of equations did we write in that system? We wrote translation and we wrote a formula type. All right, now you can do the following examples. You can do problem 8 and problem 9. Let me help you out with problem 9 because the formula is going to be pretty crazy. You can Google it. You can. The volume of a cylinder, that's the volume of a cylinder formula. Okay? That'll help you with number 9. In fact, let me go one step further. We could let x equal our radius. and we could let y equal our height. That's going one step further on number 9. You should be able to do the rest of problem 9. Okay, let's see. Let's try a coin problem. Coin problems are super popular. STAR test loves them. My tests love them. Okay, problem 10. Let's do problem 10. Manny has $4.90 in dimes and quarters. What two types of coins does Manny have? He has dimes and quarters. That's probably going to be my two variables. Okay, so that's one statement. Let's look at the next one. He has 7 more dimes than quarters. What is that when we're comparing two quantities? What kind of equations that's going to be? Comparing two quantities, we can start with that one. He has 7 more dimes than quarters. That looks like it might be a balancing where I'm comparing two quantities, okay? So let's start with that one. Let's start with our balancing first. That'll help me select my variables. And I don't really know what to do with that yet, so let's focus on the balancing. 7 more dimes than quarters, so my dime pile is going to be bigger than my quarter pile. How do I make them equal? Well, there's 7 more in this pile, so if I add 7 to this pile, now they'll be equal. Okay, so if my dimes are over here, if I'm solved for dimes, that's who I want my y to be. And that's who I want my x to be. And now the equation writes itself. So that'll be my first equation that I'm going to write. Y equals x plus 7. And now let's come up here and formally declare our variables. X is going to be the number of quarters. The number, not the value. Every quarter is 25 cents. I know that. This is the number of quarters. And let my y equal the number of dimes. Okay? Now, coin problems. Coin problems always involve money, money, money. It is implied that it is money, 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 even though they don't spell it out exactly for me. Everyone expects me to know how much a dime is worth. It's 10 cents. Everybody expects me to know how much a quarter is worth. That's 25 cents. They don't need to come out and tell me that. It is going to be money, money, money regardless. So, $4.90 will be the total money, but how much is the dime worth? 10 cents. How much is a quarter worth? 25 cents. So we're going to say 4 dimes. I'm sorry, let's start with quarters since that's our x, okay? Quarters, 0.25 for our x. How much for a dime, which is my y? 0.10 for my dimes. And what is the total amount of money I have? $4.90. Now my system is written. Okay? So anytime you see a coin problem, remember, it's money, 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 and they don't have to tell you how much a dime, a quarter, or a nickel are worth. You already know. All right, with that, you should be ready to do problems 11. Well, just problem 11. I only included one more coin problem. And the last homework help problem, 12 and 13 go together, okay? 12 and 13 go together. So I'll do 12 and you can do 13 on your own. A classroom contains 3 times as many boys as girls. There are 32 students in the classroom. Write a system that could describe the equation. Okay, so first things first. Anytime I see as many or I'm comparing two quantities, what type of equation am I about to write? You said it. Balancing. Go ahead and do your artwork, your fancy artwork. Draw your piles, okay? So I've got a pile of boys, which is going to be larger, 3 times as many boys. Large boy pile, little bitty girl pile. Exaggerate the size so you can see which one's bigger. How do I make them equal? Well, the boy pile is 3 times bigger than the girls, so to make them equal, I have to times the girl pile by 3. Now they're equal. Now I'm ready to assign variables. Okay, so who do I always like to solve for? Y. So let's make the boys y and the girls x. The equation writes itself just looking at the picture. So let me go ahead and formalize my variable selection. Let x equal, what was it, girls? And let's let y equal boys. My first equation is balancing and it's written for me. Let's just copy that down. I've got one more equation to write. We're done with this. Don't even look back at it. We're done with that sentence. Now, there are 32 students in the classroom. What kind of equation only requires me to have one number in it and represents a total? I guess that's a total number equation. And let's look how we wrote that. Remember, we take our two variables, add them together, and put our total number at the back behind the equal sign. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to take our two variables, add them together, and put our total number, 32 students, at the back behind the equal sign. And that concludes homework help for writing systems of equations. Tomorrow, we're going to write and solve. So today's mission is to get really good at writing. Let's get comfortable with it.